Hello, world, and welcome to the Last Comic Book Standing podcast. Are you a casual fan of comics but don't really know much about comic books? And that's where I come in. I do the reading, so you can sit back, watch, and enjoy the show. Let's get started. Okay, comic fans, so thank you so much for watching. For this issue, X-Men number 2, our featured track is from the Mars Volta. It's called Asilos Magdalena. See if you can put it on while watching the episode, and or give it a listen after the show and let me know what you think. But I definitely like the feel of it for this particular issue, so let's get into the story. So here we see the cover of X-Men number 2 with the Summers family featured on the main cover. And as we begin, Cyclops is greeted by Rachel and Nathan as he enters his house and tells them that on top of all the chaos that has recently been happening on the island, there's a second island that appeared 100 miles away that seems to have giant hostile beings on it, and Krakoa itself is moving towards it. So Cyclops wants to know if they'd like to come on a recon mission with him to get to the bottom of it. And we're underway. The other island. Mutants around the world are flocking to the nation of Krakoa to be part of the first mutant society. But since the assassination of Charles Xavier, CX Force number 1, which we posted an episode not too long ago, make sure to watch that, their sense of safety has been shattered and the island is on lockdown. Suddenly, Krakoa's security is in question, but the X-Men stand ready to protect humankind. And again, our main characters, Cyclops, Cable, and Prestige, aka Rachel Summers. Not feeling the name Prestige. Let me know how you guys feel about that too. So, Rachel is asking why Krakoa is moving closer to this new island. And Cyclops explains that the only person that can communicate with the island went through a portal with the rest of the New Mutants team and ended up on the Starjammer ship, his father's ship. That was back in New Mutants number 1, so make sure to catch that episode to get up to speed as well. He admits it was all his idea for them to do so, so it's basically his fault that they don't have the tools they need to find out more details. Cable's going through how much ammunition and weaponry he packed, wondering if he brought enough, to which Cyclops responds that having him alone is enough. It's pretty cool to see Cyclops going on a mission with his son and daughter, I must admit that. So they finally land, and Cable's impressed by his dad's maneuvering and control, to which Cyclops reveals something interesting. He says he spent more time flying the X-Jet than in actual therapy. So I just thought it was interesting to see that Cyclops has seen a shrink in the past to deal with probably tons of issues he's dealt with since his teens. And Rachel does a quick scan of the island, revealing primitive wildlife, but one humanish being that she's picking up near the volcano. They have less than 5 hours to find out what's going on before Krakoa comes crashing into this new island. And 2 hours later, they're still walking through the jungle on foot, making their way to the volcano, and Cyclops decides to speed things up a bit with his optical blast, and he removes a lot of the shrubbery in the way. So Cyclops and Rachel talk about beautiful islands that they've experienced on vacation, and Cyclops makes a nice promise to take her to an island where the waters are so clear that you can see a few hundred yards down, and the sea life is bioluminescent, so at night it appears to be floating in space. So Cyclops basically wants to take his kids to Avatar Land. So even on a recon mission, Cyclops is doing his best to be a great father and make up for the times he wasn't there. And Cable picks up a rhino-looking animal that doesn't appear to be a threat, but then picks up a larger movement, and we see this creature that's straight out of Stranger Things that opens its mouth, it releases these tentacles and grabs the rhino, basically devours its meal. So it doesn't look like it's going to be a smooth walk for them to the volcano. They open fire on the tentacle monster, and inside the volcano we see a character named the Summoner. Whoever's inside that little floating chamber is the person he answers to. They're telling him he has a mission to accomplish on Earth, and it's not going to be easy. So he's to find a specific him and follow him. And failure is not an option. So who will that him be? So let's find out. We then see the team riding a pack of rhinos. Looks like they dealt with the monster from before and are getting closer to the target. Rachel's giving Cable a hard time about his fighting ethics, where he feels anything goes. The usual sibling rivalry. and Cyclops brings their attention up ahead where they're quickly approaching this summoner. The summoner approaches speaking its native tongue, which they can't pinpoint, but at least are able to greet each other. And as they look for other options to communicate, Cable decides to walk over and hand the summoner a thermal grenade. And as he tells Cyclops about the awful idea, the grenade goes off with a huge explosion. It sends everyone back from the explosive force. And as they dust off and Cable admits that it might not have been the best idea, the summoner is now upset. And just like the name suggests, it summons up 3 different beasts to attack the team. One does not attack me and live. The son of Arakko is now out to kill. And Cable's left wishing he wouldn't have wasted his grenade. And while they're battling off these beasts, Cyclops and Rachel are trying to communicate, or at least come up with a way to communicate with the summoner. And Cyclops tells Rachel to do the same thing she does back on Krakoa that allows arriving mutants to communicate in Krakoan. And they begin to speak. So Cable says the grenade was a gift. He didn't intend for it to be detonated. Cyclops just wants to know why Krakoa is heading towards this island and if it's going to be a problem. So the summoner responds to Cyclops with 2 questions. Does he love someone? And if he wants to be with them. And Cyclops answers yes to both. And by the way, my vote is that he's thinking of Jean Grey. Some might say he's thinking of Emma. You guys just like the drama. So let me know what you think. So the summoner tells Cyclops that he'll then understand what's about to happen. And he tells him to just watch. And the island begins to merge and entangle and wrap around the other. The islands are becoming one. And the summoner tells them that this is how they always were and how they should be. He tells them he's not going anywhere because he now lives here. And that he lives here because he lives here. The person he's supposed to be looking for. So who is this he? Who's going to cause 2 islands to come together and have a powerful sentient being like the summoner want to live in its vicinity? Who would you say that is? Take a quick guess. Because it's obviously someone already on Krakoa. So cast your votes because we're about to find out in the next page. Ready? Okay, on your mark, get set. Later that evening, we see the summoner speaking to someone out of sight behind the tree line. And he shares that his mother has told him all about them. And we see Apocalypse emerge. And he asks if he was sent or if he ran away. And the summoner tells him that he's been sent to warn Apocalypse, that the enemies are approaching, that for now his children are guarding the walls, but that soon Arakko will fall. Apocalypse then asks which of his children is he the son of? And he tells him he's the son of War. This is the grandchild of Apocalypse, and he's asking him if he will keep them safe. And Apocalypse says that he will, that he's going to keep all of his children safe. The ones from Krakoa and the ones from Arakko. And this concludes our story. So remember back in the House of X Powers of 10 storyline when Krakoa was first forming and Apocalypse banished some dark forces into this sort of purgatory beneath the island? They split into 2, Krakoa and Arakko. So he put his guardians to protect its exit and he closed it. This was like millennia ago. Well, those chickens are coming home to roost. I mean, they're coming. So they're going to need to all work together because what's coming is on its way with a furious vengeance. So follow us to keep up with the storyline. Share this video with a friend. I appreciate your support. And there you have it, folks. Thank you so much for joining us for this week's episode. Remember to like the video below, subscribe to the channel, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Last Comic Book Standing.